What if Deku was Gecko Moria? Part 3. The former One Hero's rise as a zombie. As we go to the cemetery, where the zombies had infiltrated. As the car pulls up near several of the graves, as a zombie in a butler suit comes out. Darren, sir. Yes, find the number one hero's grave. Gecko Moria has ordered us to retrieve the body. As they nod, as they go looking through the graves. As we just see Gecko Moria just watching it from the camera of a zombie. This had to be the best idea I've had yet. Now, let's see if the heroes will arrive or not. I doubt they'll notice such a trivial matter at first, but after a little bit, they'll notice something. As he notices, the zombies have started digging. As he throws popcorn in his mouth and starts chewing. Yes. As they start digging up until they reach the coffin. They open the coffin as the body's not in the best condition, but it's in a workable condition. As Gecko Moria sees this, I figured as much with a body that old. It's going to take a little bit of repairs. That's why I need Dr. Hanaku. He will help me get this body to top shape. Zombies, retrieve the body. Yes, Gecko Moria. As they close the coffin before picking it up and loading it into the back of the vehicle. As we look in the back of the vehicle of this enclosed, van, as there's been a set of at least 5 coffins as the zombies get in. Bring them back, please. We're on our way to back, sir. As they start to drive back. As they start leaving, they notice a car pulling into the cemetery. That may be a problem. Note after you get back, as Darren the butler zombie is currently on the phone with Gecko Moria. Yes, sir. Destroy the van. You sure, sir? This has been our transportation for destroy the van once you get back and unload the corpses. Very well. We'll also drop it at a remote location. Good idea. As the vehicle had entered the cemetery, was just seemingly like a regular vehicle moving through. As the person inside thought it was just some people coming to visit a grave. As the person gets out of the car, as it's revealed to be Toshinori Yagi, as he closes the door, as he walks toward Nana Shimura's grave, as then he notices it's empty. It had been dug up. What? As he immediately rushes to the car before calling, obviously Nezu, because he remembered seeing that white van leave. Come on, Nezu. Nezu, pick up. What is it? You know this cemetery, right? The cemetery I went to from the former number one hero passed away? Yes, Toshinori Yagi. What seems to be the matter? Several corpses are missing from the cemetery. What? We've got the former number one hero's corpse missing, along with a few others. They've been dug up. Note, I'll get heroes on it right away. We're going to need to host a meeting. We'll have a meeting tomorrow to discuss the matter. As Nezu hangs up, who could have done this, and why go after my master's corpse? As we go to Dr. Hanaku, who's currently stitching up some bodies. Yes. As he just bites the thread as he finished sewing up an arm to a broken zombie that broke its arm in training. There you go. All back together. Try not to lose it so easily next time. Sorry. It's fine. Now, let's work on some things. As he's about to work on another corpse, as phone starts ringing. Ah, better go check that. As he grabs it. Yes, this is Gecko Moria. How is your work, Hanaku? Ah, Gecko Moria. Things have been going well. I've repaired some of your zombies, and I'm currently stitching up an interesting armored zombie that will surely make a interest for you. Don't worry about that. Although it seems like a very interesting project. But the zombie I have coming in is going to be way more valuable. You may experiment on it as you will. I'll first need to find a powerful shadow. Why won't a regular shadow just do? No. The more powerful a shadow is, the more powerful the zombie. And currently, I've got my eyes set on a certain hero. And what makes this hilarious is that Stain is also targeting a few of the heroes I want to go take the shadows from. Which I don't care if I have the shadow after a person's death, it doesn't really matter. But I'm going to get a random hero's shadow that will surely be valuable to me. So I'm off for a bit. The corpse vehicle should arrive here in a few moments. Feel free to talk to Darren, my butler zombie. He will deliver the corpses to you. Very well, Gecko Moria. I shall have it completed by, say tomorrow. That will do. The USJ is in a few days, so prepare. Of course, Gecko Moria. After all, as he looks at the armored zombie he was working on, these projects are surely going to be a masterpiece. I trust in your judgment. As he ends the call. As he was walking towards a vehicle, as he slouches in the vehicle just laying down. Alright, let's move. As basically it's like an 18-wheeler. Gecko Moria has gotten quite big. Or Deku has gotten to about the size of Gecko Moria, is what I'm trying to say. As the zombies in the front start moving the vehicle. Just driving. And these zombies are specially made to look more human than zombie-like. So when they're pulled over, they got their fake IDs. You know, the planning of Gecko Moria. As one of them opens the little slot back there where Gecko Moria is just slouching down. Remember, avoid every speed bump in the area. I do not want to hit my head on the roof of this 18-wheeler back here. Yes, Gecko Moria. We'll avoid every speed bump as possible. Good. And remember, we're going at this random hero. Yes, sir. As they start to go pretty fast. Now we go to a vehicle that has just arrived at the gate of Gecko Moria's hideout. As the gate opens, as it's the white van that had stolen the corpses. As it pulls in, as Darren hops out of the passenger seat. As several zombies come out, as well as Dr. Hanaku. Alright, let's get a look at these corpses before I start with my experimentation on them. As Darren signals to bring the coffins out. As they put them side by side. Okay, open the first one. The first one is some villain that had like a shark quirk. I'm going to have to repair his fins, but that corpse should do. The next one is seemingly, well, like a pyro. Had like a pyro mask or a gas mask. Had like a suit, like a flammable suit. What is this one's? Okay, this one was known as a mercenary. Although it was all for a foreign group. He was called the Firist. I don't know, that's what they called him. I'll call him Inferno the Flame Zombie. No, I'll need Gecko Moria to grab a good flame quark from someone's shadow. Open the next. And the middle one Nana Shimura was set. As he looks, Nana Shimura, the zombie that Gecko Moria wants me to work on immediately. Yes, that will do. Alright, as they're about to open the fourth, he says, no, keep the last two until I get to them. These three, plus my other zombie I'm working on, will take a while. Put that one in cryo storage. Keep the bodies nice and cold to let their decay process. As Darren nods, you heard him. Take it to the freezer. As several zombies lift up the two closed caskets and take it to a freezer. What about these one? Put it in the freezer in my lab. These are the ones I will work on immediately. What about Nana Shimura? Darren asks. I'll work on her immediately. I will need a lot of parts. Maybe I can make it to where she's more beast-like, have more strength than the original Nana Shimura, and maybe even have more power. You know what? Question. What was in number 4? The box. Someone with some sort of what? Beast quark? What was it? Something with a tail and all that. Take apart that body. I'm going to use it for this experimentation. But I thought you were going to save it for another zombie. No, I've changed my mind. I'll use the parts from that zombie to fix up Nana Shimura's body. Because those ones are more recent, correct? Yes, sir. They've only been dead for a year or so. Most of them, at least. This is the oldest corpse we'd brought. Then you won't mind me tearing up that fourth coffin, then. Gecko Moria may get a little bit mad. He will not. He's understanding, after all. Fair point. He does want a powerful zombie, especially from Nana Shimura. And if everything goes right, as Dr. Hanaku grabs a syringe, I'll be able to make a super powerful zombie, and it may be able to keep its quarks from before. Quarks? Oh, did Gecko Moria not fill you in? Gecko Moria knew Nana Shimura had 2 powers, when most people thought it was just 1. This is shocking, Darren. He informed me about it just last night, before I was closing up my lab. As we have a flashback where Gecko Moria is coming towards Hanaku. Dr. Hanaku. Gecko Moria, what do I have the pleasure of you coming to my lab? I must inform you about Nana Shimura's powers. She had the ability to float. I'm very aware of that. No, I'm talking about her other power. Her other power? Yes, I had a theory it was an enhancement type power. That increased a person's strength, because a person with a float quark could not easily just simply use brute strength to change the very air pressure, and the attacks that she dealt shouldn't have been that powerful if her quark was just float. So she had to have had an enhancement quark, because there's no way her body would have been able to produce such powerful punches otherwise. How could you tell? I went through the description of her quark in files I stole from a hospital. It says the power float only allows her to float. It doesn't enhance any other abilities. So I was always wondering why she was so strong. So you're saying she had 2 quarks then, but kept the other one out of the radar? Possibly, or she developed it later in life in her hero career. But that's one reason I wanted the corpse so badly. It's a very powerful one. Feel free to use any corpses to enhance her body if you need to. I will expect a very powerful zombie once she arrives. Don't worry, Gecko Moria. I shall not disappoint. I really hope so. End of the flashback. Oh, so you're telling me he knew of this? Yes. Well, anyway, take her to my lab. Yes, sir. As Darren and our zombie pick up the corpse and take it to his lab. As we go back to Gecko Moria, who they had just arrived at their destination. As they open the back of the 18-wheeler, as Gecko Moria technically has to crawl out. Ah, man, it's all cramped in there. Do they not make cars for people that are tall? Ah, whatever. As he walks towards the to the alleyway where the hero is currently doing some shady deal. As the zombies look down, there he is, Master. Remember, I don't care if you kill him, but have him alive. I need to separate his shadow before he becomes a corpse. Otherwise, his skills and all that are useless to me. Do I make myself clear? Yes, sir. As the two... I'm just going to say these two zombies were in suits. Because why not? As they walk down the alleyway, as the hero looks over, y'all must be the people that are bringing me the cash. As they walk towards him, as Gecko Mori is just hiding, technically behind a wall. Yes, if you'll just follow me, we kept it in quite a large vehicle. Wouldn't that be too big? Not if you're working for a company. As they're acting like they're the people that were getting money or getting him stuff, as he follows them to this giant 18-wheeler. Wow, I wonder how much you got me this time. This way, as Gecko Mori is just hiding. As they open the back of the truck, as a huge spotlight happens to turn on. As he just sees a spotlight. Hey, where is... As then he simply would get grabbed by Gecko Moria. Well, if it isn't such and such hero. Let me go, you villain, as he attempts to use his quirk on, Gecko Moria. But his hands have been restrained by Gecko Moria's shadow. As his shadow grabs him and just, holds him to the ground. As Gecko Moria pulls out some scissors. What are you doing? I'm simply just taking something that will belong to me. As he grabs his shadow before extending it and clips it as the man passes out from the pain of having his shadow removed. Leave him here. He should burn in the sunlight when the sun arises. As he simply tucks away the shadow that he stole before getting in the back of the van. And we just see Gecko Moria's shadow just stick his tongue out at the hero. Before his zombies would get into the 18-wheeler and leave. As we go back to Dr. Hanaku's lab, as he's currently working on Nashimura's quark, and the end result is, on the thumbnail. Yes! Finally complete! As he is finished with the corpse, as it looks like the one in the thumbnail. But what should I name you? We can't call you Nana Shimura. Maybe Zombie Nana... The Chimera... What do I name you? I'll leave it to Gecko Moria. After all, it did take me quite a few hours to put you together with that other corpse. Combining your two, you'll now have the strength of that previous guy, with but the same corpse power that you kept. Thanks to my little interference, now Gecko Moria can use the dead people's quarks. Plus the person's shadow quark that they stole from the person. So essentially, you're special. You'll have a combination of 4 quarks. The second zombie I've added quarks to. Except that first zombie's not yet complete. As Gecko Moria had just gotten back, we need to find a better way of transportation as he clawed out of that 18-wheeler. Because I'm not going to get in that thing every time I gotta go retrieve a corpse. As he walks into the building, As Darren, his butler Darren is there. Ah, Darren. What is it? Dr. Hanaku has finished with Nashimura's corpse. Good, lead me to his lab. As Darren leads Gecko Moria to his lab. As Dr. Hanaku sees Gecko Moria. Gecko Moria, it's good that you could have arrived on time. I just happened to finish up on Nanashimura's body. As he looks at, wow, you really went above and beyond. You transformed her body into, well, technically like a chimera. Although the shadow's personality and all that usually inhabits your zombies will not affect her on this. Her mind is mostly filled with rage due to the combination of that wild beast guy's quirk, which led to this chimera form. She will be loyal once you put the shadow in, but her mind is full of rage. Probably the looming thoughts of the previous, well, corpse user that I added to Nashibor's body. Maybe a subconscious level that was still intact, even over a year. Interesting. She'll make a fine weapon. As she puts the shadow in her corpse, as she gets up and immediately starts destroying the lab. As Dr. Hanku will technically hide behind Gecko Moria, as Nashimura's corpse tries to attack Gecko Moria, but stops. Now, as Dr. Hanku asks, why isn't she obeying you? Sometime difficult shadows take time to adjust. It will be a while before she gets used, she becomes loyal. Give or take a few hours, most. As his, shadow is immobilizing Nashimura's corpse, the reason I made cells in your lab, as he tosses Nashimura's, zombie corpse into the cell. Within about a few hours, she should be loyal and not attack you. I do apologize for not explaining that earlier. It's fine, Gecko Moria. After all, I am going to have to do some fixing up because she destroyed a bit of my lab. But next time, please let me know. That way I have the corpses in the chambers. I will do so. Anyway, time to see what the heroes are going to make a big fuss about over that cemetery. As Gecko Moria leaves. And that is the end of What If Deku Was Gecko Moria, Part 3. The Rise of the Nanashimura Zombie, or the former number hero zombie. Make sure to like and subscribe.